live. Hey everyone, it's so good to be with you. I wanted to make a little video about something important, and then something that came up in the conversations that I'm having for the self-love shift that launches August 19th. It's freely offered. It's a masterclass series. It's freaking amazing. You must sign up. I will put the link up to register as soon as I have it, and it's almost ready. So I wanted to talk about courage, visibility, and putting yourself out there. How to shine when what you want to do is shy away from visibility. And this is for you if you're wanting to put yourself out there in a way that feels, maybe kind of vulnerable. Like maybe you have a dream in your heart, maybe you have a calling in your heart, you want to share it in the world, you want to be more visible in this, creation that you're up to making. And, I don't know, maybe it's working with people, maybe you're a healer, maybe you're a teacher, a guide, a mentor, a facilitator, and, or maybe you're just wanting to do something like, take a kickboxing class, or, you're like wanting, or, I don't know, just do something that's, taking a step, in a direction that feels a little scary, a little vulnerable, right? Then this video is for you. It's like, how do we have the courage to just step forward when what we really want to do is freaking like hide and pull back, right? And I'll speak specifically to sort of my world of like being a teacher and a facilitator and a healer, a coach, and some of the challenges that can come up for us as we birth our big visions and bring them into the world. Maybe you have a big vision, and you want to birth it into the world, but you're scared and you find yourself pulling back or not really taking action in a way that would matter, like towards that, and you kind of are spinning your wheels. Whew, I know how you feel. So just take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Just allowing yourself to slow down. I find myself wanting to speed up, right? Wanting to keep up. And, I find that things work out so much better. Yeah, doing it with fear. Exactly. Be real with Jess. Yes, Jess, that's right. Yeah, be real. Like, it's like, this is doing it with fear. It's reminding me of that book, right? Feel the fear and do it anyway. I don't know who wrote that, but this is what we're talking about. And what makes that possible? Well, what I was saying was I find when I step back and I take a breath and I slow down, I can connect more deeply to what's wanting to come through. And so the pivot here into, gosh, so much of what I do, I'm very visible, in terms of like these videos and stuff like that, like, dang, I'm making these on my like personal Facebook page. Like that's a risk, and staying with Instagram, right? Whether one person watches this or 20,000 people watch it, it's a risk. It's vulnerable, putting yourself out there and just talking about what you think, talking about what you feel, helping people in the way that you feel called to do it. It feels like it's a scary thing. Now, then when you you might have the courage to move through that, but then you come up against, there's always another level, another layer, right? And what you come up against, oftentimes the thing that's keeping you back is the fear that you're going to be rejected, is the fear that you'll be judged, right? Is the fear that people mistake who you really are for what you're doing in the world. And we make that mistake. If you are a soul-led entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about when you feel like you're a piece of doo because, say, your class didn't fill the way that you wanted it to, or you do a workshop and no one comes, or you do some kind of challenge or journey and people just aren't interested or don't sign up, or you've invested a lot, say, in yourself to be a life coach, for example, but you don't have any clients. You start to think that it's something that has to do with you, that somehow you, the real you, the radiant you, is unworthy, unlovable, and like you're just going to get that proven as you stick your neck out there and you get rejected. Can anyone relate to this? You know, like that's scary. And so if I'm holding that my value and my worth is dependent upon you like liking me, or you being pulled towards me and following me, or you coming to my classes or my workshops, or if I get confused about who I am and I start thinking that who I am is what I'm up to creating, then, you know, we get into some trouble. And so many of us soul-led entrepreneurs, we get enmeshed in an unhealthy way with the work that we're birthing into the world. It's like the two become one, right? And just like a relationship, like that just, well, like for reals, like if you're in a relationship and you can't be happy unless that other person is like happy, or you can't be happy unless that other person is into you, right? That's a anxious way of living. That's like I'm afraid to make a move because I might do something to screw it up, right? It's the same thing in our businesses or in what we're up to creating, you know, something new that we're wanting to step into that has some level of vulnerability to it that has us go, pull back, not do it, right? I'll wait till later. We procrastinate, we put off. The pivot here comes with that, what I just shared. Your value and your worthiness are inherent to your breath. It's inherent to you just right now as you are, who you are. It's not dependent upon, you know, anything that you put out in the world. So there needs to be some separation between that and who we think we are. Because if they're too tied together, we won't fall on our face the way that we need to grow and learn the lessons. Like, you gotta have the workshops where no one comes. You just do. You've gotta have a gazillion no's for people to say yes to your program notice your program before you get a yes. Like, life will give you these challenges and it tests your belief in who you are. It tests like your deepest levels of okayness and self-love. And when we can unhook, because like you're gonna fall on your face, you're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna be embarrassing sometimes. It's gonna be like you go to a kickboxing class and you've never done it before, or I don't know, you ask someone out, you know, for tea or coffee or something, like on a date, or you know, you try, you know, you do anything new that matters to you. It's gonna be, you know, there's gonna be a learning curve. And I know I have the funny planter above my head again. It looks like funny. It's like coming on my head. And so if you are hooked into other people, like approving of you and all that stuff, and you can't just take it as feedback, right? Like, it's just information for you to go, okay, that didn't quite work. Maybe the wording needs to be changed. Maybe you could pivot in a different direction around the way it's presented. There's something that didn't quite connect or work out in the way that you presented it, that had it not do as well as you would have liked. But it's a workable problem when you're not all emotionally attached to the outcome, right? So we can really benefit when we have a big vision in our life and we want to give birth to it. You got to get out of your own way. You can't be emotionally like attached. You can have emotions and you will. You know, I get nervous before every time I make one of these dang videos. I made so many of them. You'd think I wouldn't be, but I do. I get nervous. I get nervous a little bit nervous before my client session. Anytime I'm putting my heart and my whole being out there. But I do it anyway. Like, I know that's just a passing feeling. It's not who I am, and it's not why I do this. It's just a feeling, right? And sometimes, you know, I mean, you know, if something really hard happens, you know, it might be a few days for me to like get my bearings again. But I come back, you know, because I got my value and my worthiness is already inherent to who I am. I'm not hooking it into the outcome of some vision or project that I'm working on and it working out the way that I want it to. I'm willing to fail and try again, right? This is the emotional resilience and mastery that comes from truly, deeply loving all of who you are beyond circumstances or conditions. This is the freedom that's available to you. It's what we all need to do anything worthwhile. So if you're stuck and stagnant, you're playing small, and you feel invisible, I want you to check this stuff out. Are you hooking your okayness and your value onto what other people think about what you're putting out? And of course you are, to some degree, because we do that. It's so human. But can you see that? Can you just acknowledge it? And as you acknowledge it, take a breath. You create this space. And you can move inside of that space. You can take action inside of that space, right? It's the only way to really, build anything worthwhile. And so I hope this serves you today. I hope especially those of you highly sensitive empaths out there, this piece can really do a number on us. And I hope it's the same like putting a photo on freaking Instagram, right? How many likes do I get? It's like, well, or do they think I'm pretty or do they not, or, whatever. It's like, that's all just bullshit. Really? Like, are you really going to hinge your sense of okayness on that? But we do it, don't we? So notice when you get activated, notice when you get triggered around like being judged or, perceived, maybe misunderstood. Notice that. And then as you notice it, you create a space, take a breath. And then anchor into your deeper purpose for doing what you're doing, right? And if you don't know what that is, if you're not clear about your soul purpose, get support and uncover that. Good grief, because the faster you do that, and the more time you can spend, moving towards your soul purpose and taking action that's in alignment with that, the more amazing and vibrant your life feels. So this is my encouragement to you. Let me know what about this video served you. Please tune into the Self-Love Shift. It will launch August 15th. It's freely offered. I'm going to have the link and to sign up for that next week. On Insta, it'll be all over my pages, so you can hop into that. And it's just an amazing conversation all around, unhooking from self-doubt and stagnation and playing small and hooking into unshakable confidence, clarity, and worthiness to live your soul purpose at any age. By the way, that's coming up soon. And for now, let me know what about this video served you. Do share it with somebody that you know it would help. Sending you so much love and many blessings. Be well. Namaste. Oh, Dylan, you're here. How are you doing? Hey! I love you too. I think about you. Hope you're well. Namaste.